Okay.
Okay, we're live, councillors.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Snowy Valley's council meeting of the Thursday, the 16th of February. And I'll call upon Councillor Thompson to give us a acknowledgement of country. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Mayor Chaffey. I think it's really important when we acknowledge country and the first custodians, First Nations people in our area, that we understand their intent with how they respected the land, the water, the people and each other. And I think that as we gather today to actually make really important decisions for our community, it's really a good time for us to stop and reflect on how our First Nations people would have made decisions for the benefit of their wider community and their mobs and tribes going forward. So I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Wiradjuri and Woogaloo people in this area, and even beyond our immediate area to the other areas across Snowy Valleys Council, and to pay respect to elders past, present and those who are going to be our future elders.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. This meeting is being live streamed on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council's debate and decisions. Members of the public participating in meetings agree to have their images, voice and personal information, including names and addresses, recorded and publicly broadcast. Snowy Valleys Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of the meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed session will not be live streamed. Councillors are reminded of the oath of affirmation of office they made under section 233A of the Local Government Act of 1993 and the obligation under Council's Code of Conduct to disclose and appropriately manage conflicts of interest. Please ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or are in silent mode for the duration of the meeting, and no recording of voice or images is permitted. In the event of an emergency at council meetings, please evacuate the building using the nearest exit and follow the instructions given by the warden. Do not use the lift. In participating in a meeting from an alternative venue, please enact evacuation plans for that location if required. Item 2 of the business paper is apologies, leave of absence. Do we have any leave of absence requests? If so, someone move.
I have a leave of absence request. Yep.
Councillor,
Okay.
move Councillor Larder. Seconded. Councillor Ham. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest. Does anybody have a pecuniary interest they wish to declare? Councillor Ham.
I have two. First one is 11.2, pecuniary interest in relation to 11.2 being president of the Tumbarumba Preschool Committee, and we'll leave the room for the discussion. And non-pecuniary interest in relation to report 11.8 being on the Tumbarfest Committee, and will remain in the room during the discussion and will participate in the voting.
Thank you. Councillor Armour.
I have a pecuniary interest in 11.6, being Director Secretary of Base Fair Proprietary Limited, trading as Tumut Connection, Rita Car Park.
Very good.
I have, if I may,
Councillor Livermore.
yeah, I declare a non-significant, non-pecuniary interest in relation to report 11.8.
Have you got
On the basis I'm a member of the Tumbarumba Campcraft Club.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'll leave the room.
Yeah, councillors, can we just go back for Councillor Moores, please, just so we can capture it in the minutes? So
Can I make a change? It's 11.5.
pecuniary interest
Yeah.
in item 11.5.
Yep.
And will you leave the room, councillor?
And I will leave the room. Yep.
And we'll leave the room.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. Have you got councillor Livermore's declaration?
Yes, we
Thank
have.
you.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Right. Confirmation of the minutes, item 5. Someone move. Councillor Thompson is second. Councillor Ivel.
Just one moment again, please. Thompson and Ivan.
Any discussion? Councillor Ham.
If I could speak to 7.1 in a note of appreciation to the staff of Snowy Valleys Council to follow up that representations from national parks or whoever to discuss more about what was going to be happening at the Mooragle substation. And this week on Tuesday, the Tumbarumba Chamber of Commerce President, Maria Anderson, and I went with the Lamia staff who are building the switching station up at Mooragle, and they spent, half a day with us showing what clearing is going to happen, where it's going to happen. It crosses the road 3 times on the way down to Sioux City. They talked to us about the impact, how they could lessen the impact, and we came away knowing that there is going to be an impact, but they are really trying to work as hard as they can to lessen it as much as possible. And they are going to have a series of community engagement in Tumbarumba and Battler and Tumut to explain to people what exactly will be happening. So thank you, because I know the staff facilitated that. Appreciate it very much.
Thank
Thank you, councillor Ham. Any further comments on the minutes? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Correspondence and petitions. I don't believe there are any. Notices of motion. We have a notice of motion 7.1. Is there a mover? Oh, it's been moved and seconded by councillor Ham and councillor Hayes.
Mr. Mayor, I believe councillors would like to move these resolutions
Separately.
separately. So could we take that as the mover and seconder for item 1, which is to congratulate Tumberfest and Currabia Wines for taking New South Wales Tourism Awards, and then we'll move to the second and third part separately.
Any discussion on item 1? Councillor Ham.
I'd just like to publicly congratulate Tumberfest and Currabia Wines for taking out New South Wales Tourism Awards, which is, huge. And having been at Tumberfest when Jess Melboy sang, and that's what they put in the submission about, it was an absolutely tremendous occasion with a very strong committee, which were organised, energetic, enthusiastic, and the results were there. Kathy Gann and her team at Currabia Wines, that continues to be a standout that brings people to our community. So congratulations to them both. And now they are both on the 17th of March being in the National Tourism Awards. So we wish them all the best then.
Thank you very much for that, councillor Ham. Any further comments? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 2, mover and seconder. Moved by councillor Hayes and seconded by councillor Ham. Any debate?
No, just to very helpful during a lot of the formation of the Snowy Valleys Council, given that we have cross borders with the ACT and also with Victoria, and there were lots of things to sort out. James was very useful for us and a great person to deal with, and I wish him all the best and congratulate him on this honour.
Thank you for that.
And if I could just add to that, how useful he was during the bushfires. He really stepped
And COVID.
And COVID.
I found James very easy to deal with, and certainly add to the sentiments expressed here. So if there's no further discussion, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We'll now go to the mayoral minute. There isn't one. Item 9 is the urgent business without notice. I'm not aware of any. Is there any?
I'm not aware of any.
Item 10, governance. Item 10.1 is the elections. Decision required. There's a recommendation there. Someone move.
I'll move all three recommendations.
Moved by councillor Thompson. Is there a seconder? Councillor Rival. Discussion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 10.2.
Moved.
Been moved by councillor Hayes. Is there a seconder? Councillor Larder. Any discussion?
Pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory. It outlines for the community the costs associated with running the count, or some of the costs associated with their elected members. So if there's no further discussion, put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We'll go to item 10.3, quarterly budget review. It's the budget up until the 31st of December. And there is a recommendation there. Someone move the recommendation.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just alter the recommendation or suggest that the resolution, in fact, the recommendation has to stay the same, but recommend that the resolution that we add the words at the end of 2 and with further amendment to incorporate the increased budget allocation in brackets $550,000, close brackets, for Snowview Estate previously resolved. That just brings to account that.
Discrepancy.
Yeah, no one
That-
had moved and
that item.
seconded, so that's just the recommendation.
So you've asked that be added?
Yes, please.
Righto. So is there a mover?
Yeah.
Councillor Livermore, seconded by Councillor Ham. With that inclusion, any debate? So if my memory serves me correctly, sorry,
Yeah, Livermore Ham. Yep.
if my memory serves me correctly, it's identified a number of additional funds, and also based on that addition to the resolution, an additional expenditure for Snowview Estate. Anybody have any comments? Councillor Ham?
First one, so to the general manager, if I could, if he could just, on page 19, it identifies that the employee costs are down 3.18%. And then further in the report, it does say that we've got up to 22 vacancies at the moment. I think the general public are aware of this, but would you mind speaking to it and what we're doing about it?
Certainly, while it's good news from a financial perspective, because it is creating some levels of savings for us, it is impacting on our ability to deliver services and the very large capital works program we've had. So we do have a number of vacant staff positions. It's a very competitive recruitment market at the moment, and we have had a continual small leakage of staff that is impacting on the organisation. We are attempting to recruit those positions, but there is always a delay from the resignation of a staff member that we're required to give 1 to 2 weeks notice, and the 6 weeks to 2.5 month process where it takes to recruit, if we're successful at recruiting, which gets more and more difficult. So that is impacting on the organisation. It is something that we need to try to address if we're going to be able to maintain the levels of services that I know that council would like to be able to maintain.
Thank you.
Any further comment? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We'll now go to 10.4, 6 monthly delivery program. Someone move. Councillor Larder, seconder. Councillor Ham. Any discussion? Councillor Livermore.
Might just raise a point, Mr. Mayor, if I may, just in some of the statistics and so on that are coming through in that, it'd be good if we could get a little bit more clarification, particularly in relation to development application approvals. The document talks about residential approvals, sorry. It'd be good if we could have also a bit of a breakdown and other information on non-residential and so on, just to get a bit better idea of the quantum, if you like, of development applications.
Is there any other comment? If there is, we might go into committee. Someone move, we go into committee. Councillor Ham. Second, Councillor Armour. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Councillor Ham.
Just in lieu of what the general manager said, and then when you go to page 33 about the status breakdown of how we're going with delivering, just want to congratulate all involved that we've got 87% of projects on track, which is sensational. And to the person on staff who did the infographics about what we've done in the 6 monthly highlights, and I recommend that goes into our newsletter, because that is just what we wanted, was something to say, this is what we're doing and this is what we've ticked off. So whoever's done it, thank you very much.
Any further discussion? If not, someone move, we go back into council. Councillor Ham. Councillor Armour. Put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So if there's no further debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 10.5. Statement of finances and investment. Move. Councillor Larder. Is there a seconder? Councillor Hughes. I'll put the motion. No further debate. I'll give you an opportunity to have a say. If there's no further debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 10.6. This is an executive summary report overview of council's cash and investment portfolio performance. It's interesting to note that the interest rates are escalating, which will generate a little bit more revenue. Is there a mover? Councillor Ham. Councillor Thompson. No further debate. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We can now go to item 11, Tumut Aerodrome Draft Master Plan for public exhibition. There are a number of recommendations there, 1 through to 5. Is there a mover?
I'll move all 5 recommendations.
Councillor Thompson's moved all 5. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivel. Discussion. This is just putting the master plan out for public consultation for a period of 28 days, if my memory serves me correctly.
I'll just make
Councillor
comment.
Thompson.
Yeah, I'll just speak to the motions here before us. We did have a public forum in relation to this earlier, and I thank Greg McLaughlin for coming and presenting his thoughts and comments. I think what's really important to encourage here is for people to understand that this is about the whole aerodrome master plan as well. And so it's important that all users of the aerodrome actually look at this and understand how it's going to be and make any submissions, including the RFS, including people who are the recreational users at the aerodrome, including the people who bought in as initial air park investors as well. And then you have such a scope of users, whether it's the True North helicopter. So from a council perspective, it's really important that we fully understand how this aerodrome is going to work and be effective and efficient for all of the users who need to use it, including that aspect of the RFS and potential forestry going out there. So I would urge all people to actually take the time to read the document, and if they have concerns, to put in their submissions, but to also put in really positive comments and things. So that's why I think it's an important document, and it's only going to make a difference if those people who are going to be impacted actually take the time to put a submission in.
Does anyone else wish to make a comment? Because if we do, we'll go into committee. If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 11.2. Tumbarumba Start Strong Preschool. Might note that councillor Ham's left the room.
I'll move it.
Moved by councillor Hayes. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivel. Any discussion?
If I may, there was a comment in there re the parking that it wasn't all that specific, but just that the parking should be available in the street. I'm just wondering if that's, are they talking about forming a parking bay or parking area within the road reserve, but off the actual pavement or the traffic way?
I'm not sure I can answer that.
Through the mayor,
McGrath?
Mr. Miro.
it's there was concern regarding the overall footprint within the park and trying to keep that as much green space as possible. So we were looking at the opportunity with them to create a car park adjacent to the roadway that would be suitable for use. However, there's also difficulties with disabled access and being compliant. So it's how we can work that in with them, but not affecting the overall parkscape.
So there would have, sorry, there would have to be a strategy for both King Street and York Street.
Yes.
Right, fair enough. Councillor Thompson.
So just my question, does the scope of work currently and the budget include that car park work, or is that something that council would be expected to pick up the tab for?
For the mayor, that's not something that we're picking up the tab for. This is all part of their project.
So this is, we must remember, this is not a council project. This
No.
is, so they'll go through a DA process, which will, I imagine, address the car parking incidents anyway. Is there any further discussion? If not, I'll put them a recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Someone get,
Sorry.
Yep, we did
thank
that.
you.
We said-
Right, 11.3. Child safe policy. Someone move the recommendation.
I'll move that as well.
Councillor Hughes, seconded by Councillor Hayes. Is there any discussion? For or against? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 11.4, establishment of floodplain risk management committee, Tumbarumba floodplain. There are 4 recommendations. Will someone move? Councillor Ivel, seconded by Councillor Ham. Any discussion?
Only that we have to appoint 2 representatives
okay.
as number 4.
Will someone nominate? Someone?
I think this bloke.
The bloke on your left,
Councillor Livermore?
Councillor Livermore.
Would
Is there a
deserve to-
seconder?
Deserves to be
The
paid.
proposal? Any discussion? If not, I'll declare.
The
No,
two
we would
representatives,
need
do you
two.
have a set?
Oh, well,
Would that be the mayor?
Probably
There's 2, and that's what we found with the inaugural meeting of the other one. Those 2 representatives have to be appointed by resolution of council. So
right, okay. Right. So
You've got a second
so-
volunteer?
You're ex officio anyway, are you? Or
I imagine.
you wanna be
I'll ex
appointed?
officio anyway, I can turn up. So does someone else want to be involved?
I'm happy to do it. If-
Councillor Ham, we have a mover, Councillor Hayes, a seconder, Councillor Ivel, that those 2 people be appointed. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Right, now we'll go to moving the motion, right? Well, we've moved that, haven't we?
So you probably should have done 1, 2 and 3 and then,
Right,
but
okay.
anyway, that's okay, it doesn't matter.
I'm happy to be for.
Right, It's been moved by councillor Hayes. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ham, I'll put the motion. All those in, sorry,
Where are we in?
Still,
No, we had a mover and a seconder. for
Yeah,
the
no,
Lido
it-
for
it-
Ham.
it-
Still on this one?
go ahead and move.
11.4?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the item is moved as a single thing. We don't need to have individual motions for the individual representatives. We're just putting forward the whole recommendation with councillor Livermore and councillor Ham. And we currently have it as moved councillor Ivor and seconded councillor Ham.
Ham. Yep.
So all in favour.
That's
Right.
All in favour? All those in favour?
Thank you.
Against, carried. Righto.
Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to move that report 11.5, the draft Tumut Town Centre traffic and parking be deferred for the next meeting so that councillors can actually participate in a workshop.
Been
So-
moved by councillor Thompson that we defer item 11.5. Is there a seconder?
Yep.
Councillor Ham.
And
Any discussion on that issue?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just clarify, so we've moved that it's be deferred for a workshop, full stop, because depending on that will depend whether it makes the next meeting. So,
Oh,
Rather
sorry,
than-
I didn't realise this. Yeah.
so for that,
You'll include that. The second was happy to
deferred till
refer to workshop.
Just-
we have a workshop.
and Mr. Mayor, if I can also just clarify for the public record that councillor Armour has left the room and declared an interest. Thank you.
Right, if there's no debate on the issue, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against, carried. Item 11.6, Development Control Plan, Administrative
So
Amendments.
Just blow it out.
Yes,
Hold
sir.
back.
Item 11.6, Development Control Plan in Administrative Amendments. Is there a mover? Councillor Larder.
This one, is this the one that's
Is there a
getting-
seconder?
We were going to defer this.
this one being
Councillor
with-
Hughes, I'm sure you.
Believe
this one's just being withdrawn, isn't
We
it?
withdrawn.
11.6, a development control
So-
plan.
Have you
It's
withdrawn?
been
I
withdrawn.
thought it was 11.7, the sewer management strategy that I was withdrawing.
I think.
There was,
Ah.
I'm not aware of anything about 11.6.
This is the
Going to
development.
defer
control
as
plan
well.
we're talking about here.
Workshop.
We're going to defer this one to a
You're
workshop.
going to defer this to a workshop?
'Cause
All
this
right,
one
will
has-
someone move that we defer 11.5?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, 11.6 to a workshop, moved by councillor
Well,
Livermore.
What happened there?
Well, just-
well,
It's all going so smooth.
It's going a bit pear-shaped here.
My understanding was I wasn't aware of 11.6 being withdrawn or deferred from any discussion today.
11.5.
My understanding was 11.5
Yep.
Yeah.
was deferred for a workshop,
One
which
that
has
has all
happened.
the amendments.
11.6,
It's to be deferred.
was it?
I thought that 11.6 required more discussion.
If council wishes to defer 11.6, we can do it by resolution. Sorry, I didn't pick that up.
It's been moved and seconded that we defer 11.6 for a workshop. Is that
I'm still happy with that decision.
right? If there's no further discussion,
Councillor Ham, seconded by.
it was moved by councillor Livermore, seconded
Livermore.
by councillor Ham.
Yeah.
No further discussion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, against, clarified.
We have a big workshop coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
You won't be
I
able to
missed that
slot
one.
in some of your pet projects, Mr. General Manager.
And while we're on a roll with deferring, councillors, I've asked that, I'd ask with your consent that 11.7 be withdrawn. We require some clarification of financial implications and in particular with rating before that could be brought back to council for
Or if
resolution.
you recommended that you have withdrawn
Withdrawn
the
it.
item, I don't think we need to
No.
consider it.
Thank you.
All right. And now we'll deal with 11.8 applications for event sponsorship.
I'll move it.
Been moved by councillor Hayes. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivel. Any discussion?
Just
Councillor Hayes.
interesting to see where the money goes, isn't it? And how diverse the organisations that collect it and where they come from.
Well, it's good to see that we're starting to get, organisations that want to run their own programs. I suppose that's been an issue that's been going on here in Snowy Valleys Council for a long time, and it's great to see that we're able to give them a bit of financial support as well as in-kind support, I suppose, if the need arises. So thank you very much for that. Any further discussions?
Yeah.
Councillor Thompson?
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Switch to, sorry.
Just in relation to the event sponsorships, the grants that we put out, my understanding is that going forward, Snowy Valleys Council is looking at trying to standardise the process for grants and sponsorship applications so that they come under the same people and they have a level of consistency in how they're actually administered. So I think that that's a really, really positive thing going forward.
Thank you for that. No further comment. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. I think we now will move into confidential section, which deals with the Tumut Aerodrome Stage 2 project and a late report in the Rural Fire Service situation. So
Confidential.
if someone would to move that we go into committee of the whole,
Move to go into closed session.
closed session, my apologies. Is there a mover?
Yep.
Councillor Ivel, a seconder. Councillor Hughes. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We will now